Battlefield 2042 has a brand new shotgun with Season 3, and this thing is an absolute beast. It's one of the most overpowered weapons that have been brought into Battlefield 2042, and considering the imbalances we've had before, that is definitely saying something. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this shotgun can do. I'll tell you how to unlock it and what attachments I think are best to make sure you use it to its full potential. My name's Dame and this is Dame Over, and the footage you're seeing is from a live stream that I did the other day. I stream 6 days a week with a mix of Battlefield 2042 and Warzone 2 content, and if you want to catch any of that live, make sure you join the Discord. Link is down in the description. I'd also really appreciate it if you left a like and sub to the channel as well so you don't miss anything else. Now, on to the NVK-S22, and I want to keep this nice and short for you guys because there are videos out there that take far too long to explain all of this. This gun is the best shotgun in the game. It completely outstrips the 12M, even though that thing is absolutely ridiculous. It works at far too longer range considering there is a shotgun. The 12M makes up for a lot of its negatives with its fire rate, but the NVK-S22 makes up for its negatives with sheer stopping power. This thing can be absolutely brutal. To unlock it, there are no extra challenges you have to do. All you've got to do is grind the season pass to level 34. Now, it's a completely free weapon to get. Obviously, people that have purchased the battle pass will get a little bit of an easier time of it and be able to unlock it quicker, but if you just grind it out, you can get this gun, no other strings attached. And as you can see from the footage here, guys, I'm absolutely rinsing people from distances that I'm convinced I should not nearly be able to do as well in. The TTK on this gun is absolutely ridiculous. Watching this clip here, I managed to get up to the top where these guys have a good power position and take them out almost instantly. There's no way with any other weapon I'd be that successful. You'll see as well in a lot of these clips that I am spamming my rounds out very, very quickly, and the fire rate is very quick, not quite as good as the 12M, but it is up there, and that means that from range you can still take targets down even without switching over to the slug rounds. Up very close in CQB, this thing can one-shot kill quite easily. Obviously, headshots will give you that extra damage multiplier, but more often than not, it's not actually required. Usually, I'd be a little bit wary about jumping into a situation with more than one target in close quarters, but with the NVK, that worry sort of goes out the window. It means I'm taking far more risks because I know I can take the enemy out so quickly, I won't be taken down myself quite as easily. I mean, let's be honest, these clips speak for themselves. I don't really need to explain how good the gun is, you just need to watch the background footage. Right, let's move on to the attachment so I can show you how to get the most out of the NVK. It has only one barrel, there is no way to change it, it's just the factory barrel. A lot of people I've seen are going with the iron sights, but I much prefer to have a sight on the top of the gun. Just makes it a little bit easier with a red dot to pick out those targets, and it doesn't obstruct your view very much. So I always tend to go with the NVK hollow sight. You'll see here that I've selected the laser sight. Now, I have a very big habit of aiming down sight very, very often, but for those of you guys that can get out of that habit and go for the hip fire, this thing can be absolutely incredible when you're hip firing with it, and obviously the added hip fire accuracy with the LS1 laser is the way to go. If, like me, you are going to keep aiming down sight and you cannot stop yourself, then I'd suggest going with the LWG grip. This gives you extra accuracy while you're moving. Now, what rounds should I pick? I hear you say, well, the flechette rounds do give you, is it flechette or flechette? Flechette gives you extra damage against infantry, although the effective range is reduced ever so slightly, although I can't particularly feel a difference. More often than not, I am using the buckshot, but I'm still trying to try out the flechette rounds just to see if they do make much of a difference. But for about 50% of the background footage that you're seeing right now, I've gone for the buckshot. Now, I will showcase a little bit of the slug rounds as well. In the footage that you've just seen, I have been using the flechette shells. Flechette. Which one is it? So you can see the difference between that and the buckshot that you saw in the first portion of the video, and I'm now going to showcase the slug shells. While these things can be very effective, it is, as I was saying on the stream, a 2-bang at very, very long range. I feel like you'll be way more successful if you do just stick to either the buckshot or the flechette. I mean, considering the ranges you're going to be fighting at, it doesn't particularly matter which one you go for as long as it's not the slug, because you can quite easily, as I mentioned earlier, one-tap people. Now, I'm a big fan of Mackay when it comes to weapons like this, and when it comes to SMGs as well, because of the extra strafe speed. You're able to move around and basically dodge enemy fire far easier than with any other character, as well as obviously having the grappling hook to get you a vantage point whenever possible. Now, there's some really cool things you can manage with the grappling hook if you do decide to run the NVK-S22, but honestly, my fallback would mostly be Falk just because of the self-healing. The one massive drawback that there is to the NVK-S22 is the reload time. It reloads so slowly, so make sure you're getting into the habit habit of cancelling that reload. There are two ways to do that on Battlefield 2042. You can double tap the weapon change button, so you go to your sidearm and back to the shotgun. That will cancel your reload, although it does take a little bit longer than this method. If you try to pull up the plus system by pressing whichever button that works for you on the platform that you're playing on PlayStation and Xbox, it's L1 or LB, and on PC, it might be I or whatever you decide to bind it to. This will cancel the reload and you're ready to get back in the fight, instead of just sitting there waiting for your shotgun to be fully reloaded before you can take out the guy that's decided to charge you from around the corner. I've used the NVK-S22 in a bunch of different game modes, and honestly, there wasn't one which I really felt didn't work particularly well. Obviously, there are a lot of open fields with barely any cover in lots of the Conquest maps, and that isn't ideal, but as long as you're holding down some sort of area near where the enemy is going to be pushing you from, then you're going to have a lot of action with the NVK. It's one of the most satisfying ways to get a kill in Battlefield 2042, and to be honest, it's the most fun that I've had on this game in the entire time it's been out. And that's it for this one, guys. If you did enjoy it and you found it useful, hit that like button, sub if you're new. Don't forget to make sure you catch those live streams by joining the Discord so you get notified every single time. I'll catch you in the next one. Let's game over. Peace.